Divorce, Repartnering, and Step Families, a decade in review by R. Kelly Rail and Megan M. Sweeney. And in this thing, they went through and took noticed and looked at the divorce rates and remarriage rates. And in this, they went and saw the decline in divorce rates and the remarriage rate, like people getting remarried again, was also declining. But then they noticed that there was a uptick in people getting remarried again. And then it talks about, and in this review, as I was going through these parts, it's kind of what I was reading from this. It's this for this beginning part is that because we hear so much on social media that marriages are a thing of the past. Everybody's trying to get divorced and no one's trying to partner up anymore, and everybody even that men are going their own separate ways and the women are going their separate ways, and so everybody is trying to be single. But as I'm reading through this, it kind of shows that kind of the opposite of that. And that's why when they go through these process, when they first talk about the things about divorce, like what are the reasons, and even myself, I was assuming that finances would be the one reason why, because with women becoming more independent financially wise, and that most of these women would go and either leave and just be single and so they can work more and so things like that. But this is showing kind of the opposite, that how a lot of people that when they're going up the ladder and the woman comes in, come working as well, that they tend to stay together, which again I thought was kind of weird thinking that, because you think that because once that happened, she would be free to go and go after her own pursuits. But yet in their study, they're saying that they're staying together because now you have two incomes coming in and they're both working, making more money. And then they talked about with like the people there are more people obviously that are going cohabitating together, which and that trend has been going for quite some time, where people are just living together, and then maybe a few of them actually get married, but as the larger group, that's something that's really a normal thing for a lot of people. And but yet again, even those that show that a lot of people are kind of that where people are getting married, and then some of those people that were married before are now living together, not married, but some of those even go to become actually get remarried. But then they looked at women's employment, and they looked at the figures there, and this kind of goes in line with motherhood gap, that a lot of these women that have children or that were, let's say, married before, these women, they're still making less than the married women that don't have children, or single women that are cohabitating with partners. And even this was also kind of surprising. And then they show that with just education in general for both men and women, that these numbers that we both get educated, again, they're not separating from each other. They're actually, partnering together, and marriage, and also, cohabitating together. And then the majority there's number is people are getting married for the first time as well, which kind of again caught me kind of off guard, because I was expecting something entirely different than they have. I was thinking to myself, So they looked at those things. They looked at, and then they also went through and talked about children and how how they have divorce, how the children, how some issues that they went through, and you see how a lot of parents, when they do get divorced, there's things, the factors like that are set for the males and the females, how they receive, the way they cope, individually, and how this actually kind of, obviously it causes issues because children dynamics, but yet you know the mother or the father, whoever takes, I presume more like the mother, because more women get more custody over children than males do, but that these women, at least in you know white societies, these mothers tend to get married faster, remarried faster than Hispanic and white. I mean, Hispanic and Black African American, excuse me, groups. And the same thing going back to the thing with the education, and then we saw the motherhood gap is the same thing. Is that usually the white woman is kind of the one that really benefits the most, even out of divorce, remarriage, or cohabitation, whereas the Hispanic woman and the African American woman, they tend to have, especially the black, the black woman, at least by terms, is that they tend to stay single even after either cohabitation or even when they get married and get divorced, which wish they could have did a little bit more research into that to find out why are those reasonings as to why that actually became, and why that is. But then they talk about when they talk about the step parenting, which is something that kind of dear to my heart, is step parenting, because there's a lot of goodness in that, because you're getting two parents back in the home, be it for either like cohabitating or actually remarrying. Is that these children, obviously, if they're young enough and they're kind of, something that's actually talked about it and continue to be talked about until they, in this time, that these children and these, parents, or these stepchildren kind of work together, and they kind of bring I would say, a nuclear family back together again, even though it's not the original, like the original father, husband, wife, or partner, but it's showing that that getting back together with with the family, the children, and the parent, the other partner, and the children, is something that actually is amazing, which I really think is kind of oh, a good thing, is because we're seeing these trends to where men, and again, social media is pushing that everybody stay separately, that as a man you don't take on another man's responsibilities, don't take on another man, that's not your responsibility, and so forth. And then you have tons on both sides, men and women, are just saying no, 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 you don't. And that's why I go through this study, that this thing that they did. I really think it gives hope for people that like we say single moms, or people that have been divorced and really want to get that get that connection back with the partner, and then give their children that opportunity to get more compassion and more care from that partners, either their children or the other person's children, that you get a chance together can help these children go through life and not feel like isolated like we do in so many situations today. But this study is really good, and I want to go back through it again and really glean more out of this, and kind of asking people that I know that are single now, but were married before, and try to find some ones that I know that got remarried, and look at their children and kind of do a little more into this.